Hello, 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 and welcome to another one line of code. I am One Lion. Hello, TBD, and also enjoy your meeting. And hello, Napalm. I hope you are all well. A little out of breath. And of course, catching up to everything. Happy Friday to all of you. Welcome to another day on the stream, another Friday day. As you may know by now, Fridays on this channel are community days. And community days are days where I invite you, the viewer, community day, to hop onto a voice channel in Discord. Let me know that you're there, and I will pull you into the stream room. Give me a second, I'll catch my breath. I'll pull you into the stream room where your voice will carry through to the stream and people will be able to hear you. You can talk about whatever topics you want, anything relevant to the channel. I'm a little scatterbrained right now because I just finished pushing, or I guess merging a pull request on one of my projects, and it broke one of the builds, which is really odd because I didn't touch the project that the build is on, so it's kind of throwing me for a loop. But anyway, moving on. So I think I have everything set up and ready to go. Today, I think we will try to actually do what Fridays are meant for. So not only will we have community day, but I will be working on the Discord and Twitch bot remake as soon as I can find this thing. So I won't mention this too much, but because I already spent enough time complaining about it. My back is doing much better than it was on Wednesday, and especially much better than it was after the stream. But I'm able to stand, I'm able to turn, all that fun stuff. So yeah, so there's that. What can we do? What can we do? Okay, so when last we saw this project, the Blazor bot. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't finish talking about community day. So community day, you can either hop into a voice channel in Discord and let me know, and then I'll pull you into the stream room. We can have a conversation about whatever topic you want relevant to the stream. And alternatively, you could just start chatting. You could participate in community day via chat. I'm saying this in such a weird way. Where are you, brain? Come back. Come on, brain. Anyway, feel free to bring up any topic that you want to discuss, again, relevant to the current channel, to our stream, and we'll have a conversation surrounding it. While we are waiting for conversations to happen, I will be working on the bot remake, which is this bot currently, and I am open sourcing it and putting it on my GitHub as... Why isn't it on here? I know I opened it recently. But anyway, as BlazorBot, I should eventually make a command so that we can just be linked directly to it on GitHub. But it is this one. Whoops. And... oh, I can't see that far. Okay, so everything should be up and running now. Automated rounds. Are you ready for community day? Yay! Isn't there like a Alt Enter? Yeah. For now, I'll just talk with myself. Have a conversation with the automated realms bot. Although it just cut off the conversation. It's like, let's hope that happens. You're not going to get conversation from me because my knowledge base is old. Okay. So let's see where we left off with the bot. We are currently in a branch called Service Interfaces. And what I was doing with that branch was setting up a whole bunch of interfaces for services that will be used throughout the bot. So for example, the Twitch bot service will be the thing that I currently use in our existing bot for doing Twitch related things. Behind the scenes, it's still using TwitchLib in the original bot. I still have uncommitted changes for the archery game. That's not good. So hopefully we're using the latest bot. Do I even remember how to deploy my bot on this computer? So the way that I'm using the Twitch bot currently is I build this. I'm pretty sure what I do is that I publish this locally. This should be a local publish. It is. Last time I did it was in February. But publish it locally, then take those, actually it's going to the right spot. So I publish it to the folder that I want it to run from, and then I use NISM to reinstall it as a service running on this computer. And I wonder if this is the .NET 8 version that is currently published and being ran as the service. But anyway, point is, I'm not going to check. I don't need to check. Point is that we are remaking this, and the current thing that is my Twitch service is right here. That's bot command services, Signal R, Twitch. Oh, yeah. So I don't think I really have a structure in the same way that I normally set my stuff up. Yeah, that is true. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Why didn't I hear that? Is my sound just that quiet? I can hear the music. Why? Oh, why didn't I hear my sound alert? Oh, I can't stand on one leg. I said I'm not going to talk about that. Why don't I listen to me? Or was that a general alert? Shout out clips. Okay, speaking of shout out clips, before I get too far into this, do you all know TBD Gamer? TBD Gamer. TBD Gamer is an application developer by day, and he moonlights. No, he doesn't even moonlight. He just does it on Mondays and Tuesdays, but he is also learning game development using Godot. and it's really entertaining to watch. But on Mondays and Tuesdays, he works on learning Godot and also the community stream project. I called it a community. The stream project called Water Drink Water, which I'm sure he could link to whenever he gets back, if he is around to do so, where he invites his community, which I am a part of. I'm so proud to be a part of his community, by the way, to contribute to this open source GitHub project that everyone can participate in. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he works on a more, I would call it an advanced project that he is wanting to make a real product. And he's at least, at minimum, doing it in a way where he is treating it like it's going to be a real product in the end, because he does want it to be. Anyway, it is a project management application, and he is using Angular and C# for that application. So check him out. 7 a.m. Eastern time, which is UTC -4. It's 4 currently. I'll get my stuff together soon. Okay. Whew. So, the bot. I don't have this bot structured, my existing bot structured in a way that I would normally structure my applications, and so it's kind of all over the place. It's hard for me to maintain. I didn't really want to open source it because it's just not a good example of how to make a bot. I'm still learning how to do Blazor bot-y kind of stuff. I'm kind of winging it at the same time. I'm not really following any tutorial. The very beginnings of this bot, of our current bot for the stream, came from using Fierce Kitten's bot, which I don't think was very up to date at the time. Here is bot itself. Yeah, so like as of today, it's 4 years old, so you can imagine how, or not 4 years old, but the last update was 4 years ago. So you can imagine how long ago. You can imagine that the current state that it's in is the state that it was in when I first cloned it and used it as my base for the bot. But then I modified it from there, adjusted it to our needs. So anyway, right. It's weird that the banner is now only up here and not up here. That makes it really hard to read. I liked it better when it was up here. That must have been a recent change. You already have the frameworks, SDKs, and tools installed. You can always add more. So then why are you telling me that I need it installed? You're so weird. Okay. We're getting somewhere. So the current step that we are at is step 2 for the bot remake, which is to define our service interfaces. This should be current on the GitHub page for the bot, which I will go to and link for anyone interested. And of course, you can contribute to this. It is public, it is open source. There are a couple of branches open, which the one that we're currently working in is service interfaces. Yeah, I'm doing both a Twitch bot and a Blazor bot. Blue, blue. 222. Really good number, by the way. I kind of want to use this discord.net NuGet library that Dukasoft showed us last Friday. So right now, the only things that I have our bot able to do is this archery game. Which you can type either shoot, or pew. And we'll do 40-20. And so this bot is all in Blazor, and this game was written completely in Blazor as well. So there is no Unity, there is no other game engine. That went right through it. Yay. You can tell that the sound isn't synced up or anything because of the way that I did it, but it was really fun to do. It was a proof of concept to show that you can do animations with just HTML and CSS and Blazor. And it was a lot of fun. So I'm taking that bot there. Oh, and the automated realms that you see there is my it's not even mine. It's an LLM that is running on another computer that is over there, and it's using TextGen Web UI from Uba Booga. And I currently have the Bloke Mistral 7 billion Open Orca GPTQ model loaded onto it. And so it's sitting there listening for our bot to send messages to it, and then it responds back, and then I post that as a chat. So Blue says, oh, in order to shoot, you have to first redeem the archery. It's only 1 paw point, but it is a channel redemption. Cool. And so the arrow shaft will be your color that you chose in Twitch. How did I learn all this? That's a good question. Back in 1872, when I was first a wee lad interested in programming. It wasn't called programming at the time. It was called anyway. So the first number there, and it's telling you the first number there is an angle between -90 straight down and 90 straight up. And the second number is the magnitude. Yeah. Wow. And you just shot a rocket out into space. Very nice. Probably just the moon. It's fine. We didn't need it. See the target now, though. Yeah, it's way out there. It's probably at the furthest distance it can be. It's crazy. You'll get used to it. But yeah, so how did I learn it? When I first started programming, I started late, relatively late compared to a lot of my peers and just people that were in college with me. And so I went to university in 2000, and that's when I was starting to do real programming for the first time. I was learning Java, C, C++, the regular college curriculum for software development kind of stuff for computer science. And I struggled a lot, but I made it through. And then I finally was starting to do actual software development for the place that I worked at around 2009, 2011, somewhere between there. But I was still working in a human resources office, so I didn't really do a lot of programming on a development team. And then finally, in about 2017, I got my first actual development job working for a consulting company for the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, who was contracted to the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. Worked on a whole bunch of those apps. In the meantime, between around 2013 and 2017 was when I gained the majority of my experience with .NET. I just did tutorial after tutorial. I tried to remake all of the projects that I was learning in the tutorials on my own, added to them, made a whole bunch of things for myself that I thought were pretty helpful, and just got experience that way. We got our first programming jobs in the same year. That's awesome. So yeah, while I was at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, because I was now working on a full-fledged, these applications need to be done for a client, for a customer, then I buckled down even more, learned a ton more, got very, very comfortable with MVC and C#. So the MVC project type, I mean, I already knew MVC from university, the pattern, but the actual Microsoft project type, MVC, was what I started using when I was converting these apps from JSP. And then close to the end of converting the last application, Blazor was coming out. So this was 2018, 2019. And I was like, I really want to use that. So I started learning about Blazor. It was 2017 when we started with Rocky Mountain Arsenal, right? Pretty sure. Anyway, so then I started doing tutorial after tutorial to learn Blazor. Lots of YouTube videos, lots of written tutorials. Microsoft Learn wasn't all that great at the time, so I didn't really use that as much, but the one that got me the furthest was the Blazin' Pizza tutorial when .NET Core 3 was coming out, and Dan Roth put together that Blazin' Pizza's tutorial for Blazor, and oh man, I loved it since then. Yeah, they're all so outdated. They've been trying to keep them up to date, but a prominent community member of our channel, I won't name names yet unless they want to be named, is kind of frustrated by the Blazor tutorials in general. And they have a really, really good point about it, which is that the only tutorials that exist out there are ones that show bad practices. Like, for example, if we were going to create this main page, and for some reason this main page did all of, like, this is what the current bot's main page looks like. So let's say that this main page did the initial communication setup with the backend. The tutorial would have something like, let's make this a Blazor server app, and on top of that, let's make this table down here have the DB context directly inside of the component, in a code block even, not in a code behind, and we would inject the, what is this one called? Oh, I don't even have a DB context in here currently, but imagine I did. Blazor bot context. And then do all of your work inside of the code block for a given component to go and get the data, to populate the data and display it here. So much logic that actually belongs in a separate part of the application. And you just don't see too many tutorials out there that do separate the code, that separate the stuff that the UI really cares about and the stuff that the backend cares about. Yeah. Oh man, drag and drop. So I have here a drag and drop component that took forever to make. One of the applications that I converted for the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. So as I said, I was learning this. Oh, you don't have to. It's not great. I'll show it to you here on stream. But here is my GitHub. And it's in the Blazor component library project repo. It's not the best. It's not even great. let's just be honest. But hold on, let's go to this app first. DDMS. So this application was a VB6 desktop application. The first conversion that I did was from VB6 to VB.NET WinForms. But after I did that, that is when Blazor came out, and I'm like, this application would be perfect for Blazor. So this is the very first application that I did in Blazor, which was again converting from VB.NET WinForms to Blazor. Hello, Peter. Aw, well, glad you're here, or lurking, or whatever. But anyway, the VB6 app had very rudimentary search functionality. And so I wanted a way to allow the user, since we were using DT search to index the documents that are stored in this document management system, I wanted the user to be able to search using the DT search query syntax. And if they didn't know the DT search query syntax, then they could create a search by using this query builder UI. And so I really, really, really wanted this query builder UI. And in doing so, I would have a whole bunch of rules for things like when I was considering how the user might use this, they would want to be able to group things together, group search criteria together. And so I'm like, I want a drag and drop kind of UI where they could put in their search terms and group things together, not the whole group. Yeah, it's very fancy. It's a bit overkill too. Put things into groups, drag things around, move whole groups around, all that stuff. So I really, really wanted a drag and drop, easy to use component. Unfortunately, because I was still learning Blazor, I didn't even know how to create my own component. So there was a lot of time spent researching even that much of it. But what I did come up with was this drag and drop thing where you could create anything from a simple drag and drop, just a whole bunch of stuff. Well, actually, that's not even the simple drag and drop. Where's the simple drag and drop? The simple drag and drop would be just on my main GitHub static page. Yeah. So a simple drag and drop where you drag things around and you reorder them by picking them up and dragging them. A more complex drag and drop would be one that has actual items inside of it instead of just a string. So this is like the actual complex item that you're moving around. And then another one would be one that you can group things together. And that was the one that I ended up using. On mine, I gave up and used JavaScript. Yeah, and I think the way that I ended up accomplishing it in a somewhat simple way, and we'll definitely take a look at that, was that on drag start, two things happen. Set pointer capture to the container for your drag and drop elements. And then the second one is set your payload as a private variable for that object type. It could just be a string, but your payload would be the thing that you have picked up, the object that represents the UI element that you've picked up. Then on drag end, depending on what you are hovering over, so on drag enter, my hovered item becomes item 7. On drag end, item 7 is the most recent on drag over. Then you perform the logic for whatever you intend to do when you release the item. I have a tutorial. I don't remember writing a tutorial for it. But if I did, that would be awesome. I can't type. No, I don't think that I actually put information on how to put it together yourself. I would love to. I just have like a sample of how to use it. That's about it. Okay, so your drag and drop, you ended up using JavaScript. So draggable is true, on drag event. And then drag event here, I'm guessing, is a string that is your JavaScript handler. I am so blind. No, it's a function. How does that work? That's very interesting. Does this actually call your C# method? Well, I mean, like what I'm interested in is that you aren't using the C# at on drag here, but you are using a C# at drag event here. And I was expecting, why am I still out of breath? I was expecting this drag event to be a string that holds the name of the JavaScript method. So this actually does call your C# somehow? I'd be very interested to see that. But where is the, yeah, so like I'm expecting this, where this is saying use C# to handle this event, but this is saying use JavaScript to handle the event. Just takes the ID of the button 1, saves it into a string, and binds it back, so the JavaScript runs on the string that is bound. Yeah, I'm still not seeing where that is happening, in this code at least. Because like here, this C# handler, drag event, yeah, I'm confused. It's very interesting. Here, let's just take this real quick and let's see what it does. Does this thing actually run? Do you run Signori app? You're .NET 8, right? Yeah, you're .NET 8. Blazor bot. Blazor bot. .NET Watch. Launch profile, I think. Oh, not yours. I'm sure yours runs. I was talking about my app. I'm sorry. Launch. Launch. Or are you pretty much saying that I can just clone yours and then run it? Because I'm really, really curious to see how that works. I don't think that I've seen a JavaScript attribute handler, a JavaScript event handler, pointing to a C# function. Yeah, launch profile HTTPS. I see. So is this maybe the way that it used to be in an earlier preview version of Blazor? Where they didn't have the @ symbol on the events themselves? Cool. Except that it I won't be able to run the app because I think it's authorized everywhere. That's no fun. Where is yours? Yes, Proj. This is .NET 8. Oh, this is Maui. Didn't realize. I love Maui. That was fun. You made this yesterday. Is this master? Yeah. Are you in a branch? I guess. Because it could just be that you're working in a branch. It's not. But yeah, if you want, we can, if you feel like committing, please do. And then we can clone it and look at it. That's what community days are for. Oh, no worries. Yeah, there's definitely no, what's the word I'm looking for? Expectations, obligations for you to do anything you don't want to do or can't do. So, but definitely interested in it. But I do like that this is a Maui application. Most of the projects that I've been doing, actually, our stream project, and the bot, I've set the bot up this way too, have pretty much all of the project types for .NET, and the bot specifically only has the Blazor web app project, the new Blazor app template for .NET 8 and above, and a Maui project. And then they both are pointing to the same UI. And so the way that works in Blazor web app template, I was about to say Blazor server, but the Blazor web app template is that we're pointing it to the app.razor file, which is in the BlazorBot UI. Isn't it? Isn't it? No, it's not. What? Apparently it's in hello? Excuse me. ¿Dónde estás? Oh, interesting. Okay. So it's here, but the app should point to routes, and in routes we have layout, main layout, which comes from client. You know what? I probably haven't set this up to use the external UI library yet. That's probably what it is, since we're only on step 2. Let me pull up financial management tracker. So this is the actual... Hi, Tyron. I use control comma. Control comma? Alt comma? Hold on. Control comma. And then if you take me up here... Oh, you wanted me to actually search for app.razor. You were being helpful. Thank you, Tyron. Hope you're doing well. You were just trying to help it be easier on me. You're helpful more often than just once. It had to be at least 1.5 times by now. Okay, so here's an example of the Blazor, a Blazor application where the UI is pointing to... That's not how you do it here. It's in index.html. Oh, no, it is here. Okay, where the Blazor Wasm's client side is pointing to app.razor, and app.razor is defined in my shared Blazor UI. But also in my Maui application, in the Blazor WebView control, that's also pointing to the same app. And in the WPF version, that's also pointing to the same, as you guessed, app. And finally, in Blazor Server Only, that is also pointing to... Where is this one defined? In host? In host. The same app. And so in every case, they're all pointing to the same UI. That UI has all of the... it uses interfaces for all of the services, for all of the functionality. And then I've split up the services so that you have the ones that will run if you are in Blazor Wasm. I didn't need to implement Signal R for any of this. So yeah. I don't know why Signal R came into play here, but it's all just the basic .NET templates. I'm just pointing them to Blazor UI, and that's it. So no Signal R in this app. There is Signal R in other apps that I use, which again, it's a service that just says, if you need to use Signal R, then use Signal. Actually, it always sets up the Signal R connection for things like this application here. So lost. Too many windows open. So this application here uses Signal R. Which I have no idea if it currently works. I haven't touched this app in a little bit. Oh, that's probably what happened last time when I tried to test this out. I was logged in. Oh man, I was logged into the same account. Right, and it's probably also the same session that was causing an issue. Great. And so part of my Signal R thing is if I'm broadcasting a message to all connected clients, the one that the message was originated from will ignore it. Okay. Lock. As you can tell, I have notifications thingy set up so that that can also happen if you are interested in getting notifications from the app. I have no idea what this error is or where it's coming from, but that's fine. Let's say I am a user who is adding a test observation. Only a test. And I submit it here. What should happen is a Signal R message gets broadcasted, and since this one is listening, it will get updated over here. Cross my fingers, cross my eyes. And nothing. Yay. Anything? Anything at all? So it definitely shows up in the list. I have no idea why it's telling me that I have drafts suddenly. Probably because I have drafts, maybe. And it didn't even update my list here. So this is an app that we're going to work on stream in the future. We're going to improve the functionality of this. We're going to get all of the Signal R stuff to work the way that it's supposed to. Get rid of whatever this error is. I'm sure it's just that it's because it's on the test server and it's not happening in the live site. We're just going to go with that because I have a lot of other stuff to do. The other thing about that app and the projects is that I'm now working with the Rocky Mountain Arsenal again. And so I am supporting all of these applications again, but there are 10, I think at last count, 10 web applications that I am maintaining and improving and all of that stuff. So yeah, one at a time. That's the answer. And welcome back, TBD Gamer. We already gave you a shout out, but we may as well do a shout out clip for you. So if any of you have not seen TBD Gamer streaming, here's a sample of what you could see if you visit, which is his old starting screen. Good song though. Okay, that's it. I'm deleting clips. Don't delete all of them. We need some of them. Okay, what is all of this buzzing that's happening on my phone? No thanks. Oh, right. So the thing that did work in the test server was the email sender actually sent an email to the group email address for that. Okay, anyway, back to Blue Blues project that they said they updated. They pushed. I'm gonna close that. And we're gonna clone it. Am I? Am I gonna clone it? D drive? That doesn't sound right. It is right. Wait, I did not put the repos on D drive on this computer, did I? I don't think I did, but I'm going to anyway. I know you guys can't see. I'm also going to put this as Blue because I won't remember that you're JA179053. And I like twos. Okay, so open terminal. Okay. Get clone this. All right, and we have it. Simple as that. Yatta. Give me a new session. think that's my profile settings. Oh, no. I mean, like, this was even before I started cloning. I'm pretty sure that I have it on C drive. Yeah, I have a repos folder on C drive, and this is where all of my stuff actually is. But you get to be special. You get to be put on my D drive. Yay! Okay, so now let's take a look at that. What was the name of the file? Say floor plan. Floorplan.razor. Control semicolon. So normally if I'm going to an actual file, I would use control comma because I don't like having to clear out the search up there. So I use control comma or whatever the other key combination is to bring up this search. And then I would do floorplan.razor. Okay, so the on drag was on this list of, oh, you simplified it. Okay, so it's no longer a table, like a, so I'm guessing, wait, maybe. Is this like an actual table, noun table, like a real world physical object table? Is that what that's intended to be? Can you like rebuild? Why are you saying that I need? I have like pretty much every single package installed. Yeah. Why do you keep saying that? That's so weird. Let's rebuild so that I can clean up some of these false red squigglies. They are not false red squigglies. Yeah, I'm supposed to have WASI experimental installed. I remember getting this issue. And I think the only way that I can get around it, don't worry, I won't push any of this, is to stop targeting Mac. And Tizen. Isn't that just generally a good idea? Yes. Yeah, it's just weird because anytime that I have... That's so weird. Am I missing one? I don't know, it's just so weird. We have Net 8 Android and Windows, which should be fine. And then Android and Windows. And there shouldn't be anything else that is Tizen, nor iOS, nor Mac. Yeah, it's so weird. I have no idea. TBD Gamer wants to know, what is an EMG? An MG? EMJI. It is an electrician's magnetized jumper incognito. Fight me on that. It's the truth. Can I restore first? Maybe. You know what? I'm gonna make it even easier on myself. Let's get rid of Android as well, because all I want to do is build build the project, and it's still angry at me. Table does not contain a definition for current reservation. That's a lie. It's got to be a lie. I don't have IntelliSense, so I can't tell if it's a lie or not. Oh, reload. Reload. I found I've had to restart VS when changing frameworks like that. Oh, that's probably the case. We'll give it a shot. I'm going to try building one more time. It looks like I am getting IntelliSense and color coding and all that stuff, syntax highlighting. But no, still angry. Okay, so let's do it. Plus. Reopen. I'll just push the build next time. You probably don't want to include your bin and obj folders. Let's do a clean. And build. Yeah. Super angry. Why so angry? Yeah, it's telling me that table doesn't contain a definition for current reservation. Is it not lying to me? Kind of seems like it's not lying to me. Yeah, I see that. But that's not where the error is currently. Yeah, there is no current reservation. Was that supposed to be just reservation? Doesn't matter. I'm just trying to get it to build. That's all. What are you angry at? Signal R? Is it just that you have a vulnerability? It's most likely what it is. Here. Weird. It doesn't matter. It's just weird that it's showing yellow bang, but there isn't one in the NuGet package manager. Very weird. Okay, moving on. So, point is that we have a on drag start. Yeah, this is what I was interested in. Here's an on drag start that is pointing to, and this is a JavaScript event handler attribute that's pointing to a C# function, as opposed to at on drag start pointing to a C# function. So what I'm interested in is, does this actually all set selected table on drag start? It's not even connected to Signal R, so we can just eat that. It's fine. I mean, it's not breaking the build, so it's just a yellow bang. And of course, you're going to open over here. All right, so how do I get to floor plan? My guess is you click on the floor plan menu item. What do you know? Add table. Interesting. Wait, no, add table is fine. And this is where it called set selected table, so that's fine. Where is it though? Was it supposed to give me UI for the table? Oh, it's right here. And there it is. Okay, so on drag is working. Cool. I get it. I get it. So we created an actual table. And so here is the table that we're adding to the floor plan, and we're just putting it in here somewhere. So as you saw though, the on drag start here is not calling the C# function select set selected table. So I have no idea how you are accomplishing. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. So this is going to be called my div header. This is going to be called my div. Oh my gosh. Interesting. Like what my assumption is that you're setting up your event listener inside of your JavaScript. But I'm not seeing the add listener or any kind of observer that's doing that. But what you are doing is setting up drag element. This is very interesting. So I use the header as an alternate. Yeah, it's just odd that you're allowing multiple objects on multiple elements on the same page to get the same ID, and it looks like you're using the class name to set the table ID, when I would think it would be the opposite. You use something like, you know, my div header table ID as the ID. And then this header is the one that you would set the, so like this would be div header. And instead of my div header, this would be div header. Oops. So you would set the style on the class div header as opposed to the ID div header. And then IDs would remain unique on the page. And it's on the on mouse down. Okay, so you're doing it this way. I see. I just don't know how this happens every time that you create a new object. Does it reload the script every time? And then it reruns the script so that, yeah, what happens when there's multiple? It's so interesting. Oh, you are on a break. Continue, please. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and that's what I thought. So it only, whoa. Yeah. that might be something that is giving you a pain point. So I'm trying to drag table 1 and I can't drag it anymore because I added table 2 until this happens, whatever this is. And now I can drag table 1. But now I can't drag table 2 until this happens, whatever this is. And then I can drag table 2. So yeah, there's a bit of awkwardness there. On your PC, it's instant. But yeah, it just refreshes the page. And refresh, well, I think the reason it was refreshing when I was trying to drag this is now I'm picking something up from somewhere else. And when it gives me this, it's trying to drop it into the page. And when you drag a file onto the page, it refreshes. It's trying to load that file. And in this case, it's just reloading this current page. So yeah, just the things that I observed in case you care about this. You don't have to care about this, by the way. And why did my music stop? It didn't. It was just in between songs. You're mixing regular JavaScript callback, event callback, with a C# function, as opposed to a C# callback to a C# function. I care. Wait, what are we talking about? And so if you wanted to use pure C# for this, you do have this table position, which is great. You already have it in C#. And that's why when we drag this around and then we drag this one, and then the page reloads, it goes back to where it was before, because it's still not actually updating table.position when you do that. There's nothing here that's calling back to C# to say update your object's property. So another thing that you might try is go ahead and use this as C#, and on drag over is probably what you're really wanting. So two things to do on drag start for this object. Number one is to set pointer capture to the floor plan page area, which you would have to do using JavaScript interop. So you pretty much send the ID to your JavaScript interop of the thing that you want to have the pointer motions. And what this will do is, let's say that I'm dragging this around and then I move the mouse off the screen and then I let go of the mouse pointer. It would still be holding the mouse down because the actual app didn't receive the on mouse up, because my focus was somewhere else. And so that would ensure that when I have a mouse up event or a drag end event, the page itself would be the thing that gets the event, and then it'd be able to handle it correctly. So that would be number one. And then number two is to set the payload to the picked up table. And so you would have a private table that would get set here. Or I guess in this case you only, well, yeah, I would get the reference to the table itself. Is it just ID? On mouse, send cat. Yes. Yes. And so in this way, now you know what you're dragging around. And then when you have the on mouse release, so in here, this would be your draggable area. And so your set pointer capture would be your JavaScript interop. That's something JS runtime.invoke async. Set pointer capture. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Copilot, for beating me to the punchline, stealing my thunder. So if you had a JavaScript callback for set pointer capture, you would do it here. And then you're dragging this around. Of course, if there is no table with that matching ID, handle that, you know, probably just exit the function without doing anything. And so you have your table, and then since this is now your draggable area, you can say at on drag end. Or yeah, on drag end would be one thing. Handle drop. And also on drag over. Is that what it's called? Or is it on mouse over? On drag over? Is handle drag over. And this is where you would be checking for position updates. So private task. Private take. Oh my goodness, why am I adding an E to this? Drag over mouse. Oh, what did I call it? Pasta. Drag event args. Drag event args. I'm guessing now. I know that I did this with the drag and drop component that I showed you earlier, so it's kind of in the back of my mind, but I haven't had to do this for a long time. Wait, actually, I did do this recently. Water. So this is the app that I'm actively working on right now. There's one more small issue that I need to fix, and then I am completely done with the fixes to this app. I've already upgraded it to .NET 8, but I haven't published the upgrade yet. But in this app, I have UI. Why is there a yellow banner on every single one of my apps? Things are breaking. Things should not be breaking. What is going on? Oh dear. Wait, does that mean that the live app is also broken? Because I just pushed. I consider it saving your life. Oh my goodness, this is not good. Internal server error. Let me check for some emails. So typically the people that use this app don't work on Fridays, so it shouldn't be affecting anyone. There is one person that does go into the office on Fridays. We might be debugging this. No, I didn't update it yet. Wait, how did it expire? I did update it. Is there like a time limit thing on invites now? There didn't used to be. Let me get a new invite code. Edit invite link. Oh, expire after. Never. Okay. Give me a new link. Let me update that. That is not my SQL Explorer. You broke it. Oh no. Yeah, we might be debugging that instead. Might have to jump to that in case there is anyone at work. Automated realms bot, table, commands, food data. Did you just create a new one, Dukasoft? Because I just created a new one. And they might be conflicting now. I don't know if mine works anymore, if you did. Dukabot bot. Oh, you just copied it. Okay. Non-bot bot. Dukabot non-bot bot. Discord. Pasta. E2 BEYCYJYJ. Yes. Same code. Cool. Automated realms. Refresh commands. Oh my gosh. Somebody teach me. Thank you. How to refresh commands. And that should now have the updated link. It does. Perfect. Okay. Next item up is the Twitch channel. A boot. No, back to my Twitch. No, I do not want to see myself. Edit. Links. That only edits the current video. I need to edit my about. About. Edit. Oh, help. Links. Edit. Pasta. Save. Okay. That's updated. And finally, YouTube, which is in this browser. Channel content. Oh, I don't know how to edit it in Discord and YouTube. Dukabot, I need to give you access to I need to make you a manager of my YouTube channel too. You're so flippin' helpful. How to edit community links? Customize channel. There it is. Got it. Pasta. Publish. Okay. Everywhere. Everywhere has been updated with the new Discord link that hopefully will not expire this time after 7 days. Thank you for helping me see that, Blue Blue. Okay, before I get to the RMA water thing, did I complete everything that I wanted to tell you about that? Yeah. So, I mean, this is not going to be task completed task at this point, but this is where you would do your table payload. So if table, which I'm going to call table payload in a second, is null, you have nothing to update. So don't do anything. Otherwise, we want to update the table's X and Y position. which I saw in here somewhere. Position. Maybe that client X. Oops. It's not X. Whoa, it's a string? Because it's in pixels, got it. But oh, style attribute? Style attribute. Got it. Okay, so position is going to be top. Oops. And Y. Pix. Left. And X. Pix. Which it's read only. Okay, so I need to just set X pause and Y pause. Got it. If I would have read your actual object. Okay. There. And then it'll update everything. No, you're completely okay. I just didn't read through your stuff. That's all. But essentially, this would be how you update its position and then return, invoke, async, status change. This is kind of dangerous to do on every drag move because it happens so often, but it shouldn't be too bad on the client. I am interested to know whether this just works. We just need to do handle drop. And all we're doing is just clearing the table payload and releasing pointer capture. So this should prevent it from actually this should on drop prevent default. Stop propagation. So this should prevent it from refreshing when you drag something over it. Yeah, good question. Or good statement, I guess. So we might not need to. It's just that I'm updating the properties of this. Well, let's find out then. I believe you, Scott. We're going to do it without status changed. Return. Task completed. Well, I guess that means that this is no longer async. It's just void. Same. Wait. And why are you angry now? Oh, because I didn't actually put the void keyword. Let's do this pointer capture. Okay, so you pick it up, you do pointer capture on the main drag area, and then you set the payload, and you make the payload the reference to the actual table object itself. No more re-navigating. Okay, so this is where it's rerunning your JavaScript. I see. And then you're saving your click table as a static property. Okay, so kind of a singleton pattern type thing. We're definitely not going to be using that. But yeah, I think the only thing that you were missing was an @ on your drag start, and then all of the stuff to handle as you're dragging. So let's see if it even works. The void was angry. Remember, when you stare into the void, The void stares back at you. Line 36, most likely. So this isn't my code, by the way. Here. Yeah, so this on click here would definitely need a at on click. And then when you do it this way, you don't have to use quotation marks or the at symbol unless you're doing like a lambda expression. And it's definitely preference. You absolutely can use quotation marks. You can use the at symbol. There's nothing wrong with doing it. I just prefer to make sure that when I'm using C# stuff, it looks like C#. I don't know why you're green squiggling. Event is deprecate. Oh, okay, we're fine. Yep. Exactly what Scott said. Okay, does this still work? It does. And so you saw that it still refreshes the page, which is fine. And so yay. Wait. That probably happened because why? Let's update this so that the JavaScript will fail when we do this, I hope. So this is going to be my div dash table ID. And then you are going to be my div. My div. Talk about my div. Save. Okay, so now this is a unique ID for this particular div, provided each table has a unique ID. The add, we're going to tell it to add a table and not refresh the page. Yeah, and that's completely okay. Again, that's how you are doing it currently, but I'm just trying to give you some pointers for maybe a different approach. And again, that does not mean that your approach is wrong or bad. It is a solution to the problem or to the thing that you want to accomplish, not necessarily a problem. The other thing that I'm seeing is full HTML markup for the entire component, when typically components only have the markup that are for that component itself. You can still use the style tag, but I would recommend, instead of doing it in line in the component, using isolated CSS or having an actual CSS file that you load. But this helps keep it together so you can see it easily. Okay, do you still work? It does still work. Page did not reload. And okay, the drag is no longer working. And that is because probably the on drag should be on mouse over instead. Let's get some debug going. So let's see what we get. First of all, let's see that we are picking up the table. So set selected table is true. We are, and we are. We have a table that has an ID of 0, and it's called table 1. Cool. So now let's see if drag over is getting called with our payload. It's not. Okay, and my guess is because body is not actually the thing that we are. Oh no, I crashed it. Oops. So yeah, this is kind of odd to me. I'm gonna go ahead and change this to a div. Get rid of all this. And also gonna get rid of the script. JavaScript is bad for your health, you know? It's terrible. because isn't that a good enough reason? We're gonna say position is, instead of absolute, oh, my div is the table itself. Draggable area will have a position relative. And that way, when we set this thing to top 0, left 0, initially, then it will be the top left corner of your draggable area instead. Let's see if that even works. Yes. I'm not really helping. They didn't really ask for help. I'm just critiquing and commenting. Yeah, you're definitely welcome to let me know if you don't want to hear any of this, Blue. I did see you say thank you earlier, so I'm still going. And there we go. So now we have a table at the top left. Still no drag event. We didn't hit a breakpoint because I didn't set a breakpoint. So we know drag start works. Let me just prove that again. Oh no, it did that again. The other thing that I like to do for draggable objects is turn user select to none. I think it's called user select. Property is non-standard. What should I use instead then? And that way, as you're dragging, you aren't accidentally selecting text, and then when you try to drag again, you're dragging the content that you have selected instead. And if I'm talking about things that you actually do care about, just know that I do post the VODs for this to YouTube after the stream. Sometime between now and Monday is when I'll do it, so you can go back and watch it if there is actual stuff that you want to see. So the drag stuff definitely works in Chrome. I don't know about this drag stuff, but the one that I was going to show you here that I can't because it's broken. Prepare lookup lists is giving us an error 500. And of course, I'm not going to get a response on the deployed app. I'll have to check the server itself to see what the actual exception is. But anyway, the drag and drop from Blazor component library, for example, is using the approach that I'm talking about. So again, that's another place that you could go to see the example. But you can see where I'm picking it up and dragging it around this thing here. It's not moving in real time, so I'm not updating the Y position until I release, but you can see things like when I hover over one of these, what did I call them? Divider drop zones, that they are updating with a class that gets added to them. So that would pretty much be the same as updating a C# variable, like the X and Y positions. in real time. So we should be able to see while I'm dragging. I guess this is the closest that I have for moving in real time. Oh jeez, I hate it when that happens. Okay, almost there. Almost there. Let's just find out why. Oh, why? So I got rid of a bunch of stuff there. This stuff here. Draggable area. And I think maybe this needs to be on mouse over. Because on drag over might only fire once. That could be what the issue is. Why aren't you loading now? Oh, I think I completely broke your code. Because now the app isn't even loading. It's about to open this about link. I'm sorry, what? Try one more time. Okay, there we go. We're good. Floor plan. Add table. So we know that that works. So now we are setting the payload. Well, we set it when we add table. We probably don't want to do that on add table. But there we go. So now how about on drag over? Yeah, and it still selected the content. But did you see that it actually moved to the location after I clicked off of it? Yeah. Interesting. So maybe the div that's actually the draggable area is this thing that has the unassigned in table, and it's not the parent. That doesn't make sense at all. It has to be this. Excuse me, which one of you is... this thingy here? Main. Content. Draggable area is only up there. Interesting. So if I pick it up and then I move it up here, no. That's so weird. Yeah, it moved because of the on click and it's setting the X and Y. You're right. I see. Okay, well, I did miss a lot of chat while I was playing with that. We'll come back to it in a half second. Let me just see all of the chat that I potentially missed. So I'm going to go all the way back up to where Tyron was being super duper helpful. And then TBD Gamer came back in, talked about the clip, and we started talking about the floor plan page. Isn't that a generally good idea? Talking about not using JavaScript. What's an MG? It's the restaurant's name because it sounded like OMG. I get it. I love that. And then we restarted Visual Studio. Again, more helpfulness. I'll just push build next time. Hasn't pushed. Not even connected to Signal R. So we can get rid of the NuGet package reference. Use headers and alternate. It's the first solution I thought of, and in the JavaScript it says on mouse down. That's where we found that it was hooking everything up. When it spawns, the script updated to be 2 instead of 0. My PC, it's instant. If you just refresh the page, works on my machine. An age-old statement from developers. Yes. To be honest, it should be called on mouse over. Yeah, we may as well try mouse over at least once. But I really want the page content to fit the full height. That's the problem. Napalm says... Oh, Napalm came back. I care. Wait, what are we talking about? We're talking about this fundular application, obviously. Hello again, how are things? To Napalm from TBD. And then Napalm said, back in the drudgeries of trying to come up with a good approach for managing APIs invocations with ridiculously low rate limits. Sounds like fun. I'm adding log statements to try catch statements. Says TBD. Napalm says, Otel is life. Otel. You're gonna have to educate me on what Otel is. If only. Then Dugasoft came in and he said, on mouse, send cat, and then he made himself sad. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Or no, he's actually judging. That looks like sad cat face. He's just being judgy. Judge away. I consider it saving your life. We only have so many keystrokes in us. You just saved some of them from more important stuff. I don't remember what that one was in response to, but it is a true statement. Invite expired, updated Discord, and then we saw RMA water crash. I copied it. I'm in. Refresh commands. Sorry, but I cannot allow you to refresh commands. I'm an AI. Actually, I told you you can. That's part of your code. We can help each other. We are brothers. Awesome. Sorry, I have table X pause and Y pause. I don't know how to handle it without refreshing. I changed the color, need to refresh, change which table I'm selecting. I need to refresh. So yeah, the main reason that you had to refresh with your original code, by the way, is because you have the script element inside of the component. But if you put this inside of a JavaScript file and you just loaded that JavaScript either in index.html or you used JavaScript isolation to load it when this component loads, then you can just call this function every single time that you add a new one instead of needing to refresh so that you can do drag element. Pretty much you would export function add listeners or something. I don't know what I would call it at this point. And then you'd put this in there and then you'd call this from your JavaScript isolation. Or if you had it in a JavaScript interop, then you call it from JavaScript interop, which you wouldn't use export function at that point in time. And blah, blah, blah. Okay, ¿qué más? On click, Scott triggered. Yes. And so Scott is here. He's like, wait a minute. He had the same concern, or not concerns. I guess I'll still call them concerns that I did, which was there was a mix of JavaScript callback event handler attribute thing with C# event handlers, C# methods. What else? Probably is now lurking. I need to update that. But thank you so much for the lurk, Dukasoft. I hope you have a weekend where you can recover. Just know that we're all thinking about you. Sending love. Why does a table that represents a floor plan have a food items count? Yes. Are you helping with someone else's code? Yes. The floor plan shows where to send the food. So it's not just arranging where the food, where the tables are. Apparently you are also indicating where food goes. Which table gets what food, or it's going to. That's really cool. Here's the message on user select, which is WebKit Chromium-based browsers do implement the property as inherited, which violates the behavior described in the spec, and this will cause issues. Okay, cool. But it still means that it exists for Chromium-based browsers. It's just not going to behave the way that you expect it to. Unless you know which way it's going to behave in Chromium-based browsers. I like how that Z ordering took over the developer tools as well. So I noticed a lot of changes with this, which I guess I kind of like, kind of don't like. I've been in Firefox more recently though. Speaking of, is that what my issue is? Excuse me. My goodness, just let me type. Is it because I have been doing all of my development in Firefox and not testing Chrome? Because Firefox seems to be the one that has the most issues. I typically do all of my development in Firefox, make sure it works there, and then check Chrome, because that's the primary browser that I use anyway. It'd be hilarious. Nope. It's definitely a server issue. And it's specifically on lookup type 4. Both requests to get lookup type 4 errored. And why are there 2 requests to get lookup type 4 to begin with? But lookup type 3 gave us what we were expecting to get, which is well purpose apparently. So I need to figure out what list type 4 is and find out why that is erroring. But we've narrowed it down a little bit. Aw, ignoring other browsers, development sin. I usually do test it in all the browsers, but I just forgot. And you can see on the orders page where the food goes. Cool. OTEM is open telemetry, and that would be nice. Must open Netscape Navigator. I do ignore that one. I do ignore Opera. I ignore Safari. It is possible that some of the users that use RMA Water would use a Mac to access it, an iPhone, potentially, so I shouldn't really ignore them. But anyway, let's just take a really quick gander at this, see if we can figure it out. Blue, we can come back to your app if you want to in the future, if you have any specific things, but at least we gave you a few pointers in which direction you could go. So for example, using the ID as a unique field, not as the fallback, but as the primary unique field for selecting elements. And then using the class as your main styling one when there are multiple elements with the same class. Instead of giving multiple elements the same ID, giving them the same class and then giving them a unique ID instead of a unique class. What else did we talk about? We talked about using the @ symbol for all of your C# handlers. We talked about potentially moving your script into its own file. Same thing with your styles. Just to give you a really quick example of how to use CSS isolation if you have not seen it yet. in the same location that you have your component that you are working with, create a new file called floorplan.razor.css. So the same name as the .razor, but put a .css at the end of it. Then take all of your styling and put it in there instead. And the only thing that you would need to make sure of is the first time that you do this in your index.html, that you are importing the name of the project .styles.css. Importing, linking to. And so this will load all of your isolated CSS from there. And that way you can have just markup here. Or the component that you're working with. You would have the CSS right next to it for that component. Just remember that if you have CSS styles that are actually global, definitely put those in your app.css. But if there is stuff that is specific to this component, then that goes in the .razor.css file. If you need to access CSS for a child component, so let's say that you wanted to style the H3 inside of today's reservations tables, but only when it's inside of this component, only when it's used inside of the floor plan, then you would use : deep. And that says, look inside of children components and then look for any H3s inside of my child components. Any other quick tips? Again, you can watch this back, take notes, do whatever you feel like. I can tell you again in the future if you feel like asking again, if you have anything specific that you'd like to talk about. The only other thing that a lot of people would recommend is, again, completely your own preference, up to you, but typically moving your code block to a separate file, which you can do using a refactor. Click the light bulb and then extract code block to code behind. It'll create it for you. And you'll see that it gets nested here under your floorplan.razor as a floorplan.razor.cs. And so all of your code behind, all of your UI logic stuff would be in this code behind file. And that way, the only thing that is in here, and it looks like it's not defined, but they're there. You might just have to close and reopen. But the only thing that's in here at that point in time would be your UI specific code. Oh, I guess this one needs to be imported. Your UI markup with references to your code behind's callbacks. And then all of your injects could be back here too. And you get a much better C# editing experience if you use the code behind file, because it is an actual .cs file, so you'll get all of your Roslyn linter stuff for C# files. And it's just an overall better experience, in my opinion. But again, do you? I'm just letting you know that these are available. And so if you don't want to use them, then don't use them. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, we need these to be components. TPD be nice. Please do not hound community members to include but not limited to deflux. again, yeah, so I don't know about sending you stuff because like you saw, I need to get right back to fixing this. I said I was gonna do it on stream, but I only have 5 minutes left and I should be ending soon. But I need to get this cleaned up as soon as possible in case there is a user who is currently on site that is using the app and I just broke it for them for the last 2 hours. I really shouldn't have merged a PR just before the stream because I typically like to test in the test server before pushing to the production server. Yeah, but definitely, again, watch the video back. The VOD will be on Twitch immediately after the stream. And again, I'll post it to YouTube so that it will be there forever and ever and ever. Watch the VOD over and over. But always feel free to come back and ask questions. I'm happy to answer questions even when I am working on the regular stream project, even though most of the time when I'm doing Mondays and Wednesday streams, I am just talking with you anyway. Yeah, no push before stream check. It's not something you have to worry too much about, TBD, because do you do anything before you start your stream in the mornings? Do you do any work related things? And yeah, also one last piece of advice, Blue is I'm an opinionated developer. I have ways that I like to do things. I try to say things in a way that's respectful and mindful that other people do have their own ways of doing things, but a lot of times I will say stuff like, this is really a good way to do it, even though it might not be. So take what I say with a grain of salt. I could be blowing smoke out of my nose. Do your own research, validate it, make sure it makes sense to you, for your situation. I don't know everything. I do not pretend to know everything. But I am also not afraid to share my experiences and say, this is how I have seen this working. And TBD Gamer says, not a bit, nope. And right now my assigned work is adding log statements. I wish I was joking about that. That would be an upgrade, being able to do a push of code, or at least a PR for someone else, where you're reading code and testing functionality and whatever. Boo Boo says, I respect it a lot. I was so mad when I found out Blazor had the code and HTML in the same file, but now I'm used to it, so I just need to decide on my preference. Yep. And for a really, really long time, my rule of thumb for myself was, if the... Where's RMA water? Because I need that open anyway. If the code that I had in the code block was specific to only providing parameters, for example. So let's say on my main page here, the only thing that main page wouldn't be a good example, but I don't think I have any other components. Oh, my Blazor component library, card, components, base card. So let's say that the only things, and this is before I decided on this, by the way, you can tell that this is really old. This is my original component library when I was first learning how to do Blazor and learning how to make component libraries, because I have so much code inside of my .razor file instead of in the code behind. But anyway, point is, let's say that the only thing that I had were these parameters. I wouldn't make a code behind file just for parameters, personally. Yeah, thank you so much, TBD Gamer, for being here. And I'll figure out who we're going to raid shortly. I am lurking on a few people's streams, but we'll pick a target soon after I finish explaining this. Mansplaining. Did we go to solo last time? I think we went to solo last time. Okay. You did make it back. If you have any raid targets that you would prefer for me to raid, please let me know now while I am saying this last thing. I think it's the last thing. And you know what? As I'm looking at this, I kind of remember deciding to go ahead and keep this inside of the .razor file instead of making a code behind, because nope, I can't even say that. I was going to say because all of this has to do with setting up UI stuff. It kind of does, but I consider this more like a business logic-y kind of thing, where I'm telling a card that it gets X amount of card bodies. Yeah, bar decky sounds great. We'll do that. Yeah, and then refreshing itself and all that. So I probably would have this in a code behind if I were to make this today. But pretty much if it only has parameters and maybe some read-only properties, then I would put it in the same file as the .razor. My floor plan page is 255 lines and my client's page is 44. Yeah, and I think you saw that if we cleaned it up, where we got rid of the HTML document structure, which you shouldn't ever have to add to a component. It should only be the markup concerning that component itself. Again, a statement that I'm saying as this is the gospel truth, but research that, make sure that it makes sense to you, see if it's right, see if you believe that. You definitely don't have to. But current practices, to my knowledge, is that you don't use the whole HTML document structure, so no HTML head, body, closing HTML tags. You just put the markup specific to that component. So that gets rid of that. You can clean up some of your directives by moving the code to the code behind, and yeah, you get rid of the whole code block by moving it to the code behind. Okay. So this is hard for me to actually articulate, but that phrase right there, at the same time as long as it works, then it's a good job. There are a lot of people who will absolutely agree with you on that. I struggle to agree with that statement a lot. So I can't actually agree with it, and I'm not going to tell you you're wrong either. But sarcastic comment loading. I just can't agree with it. I have a lot of stuff that I started off with. I'll just get it to work and then I'll clean it up later. As long as it works, it's good. And then I have to go back and maintain that code, and it's like shooting yourself in the foot. I have to compare to things like Undertale, where the dialogue is all one long if else statement. Oh my goodness. I did not know that. Good game though, but I did not know that. Arme water. Where is the Arme water that is not in my user fix? Okay, I'll save. Okay, so as I mentioned though, this is the end of the stream. Nobody came in the voice channel, but we will do it again next Friday. I will be back again on Monday, with another stream. Same bat time, same bat channel. And before then, I will post the VOD for this to YouTube. Hello, Soft as in Software. Shout out to Soft as in Software. If you are interested in seeing some really cool stuff to do with, oh my gosh, I'm trying to type Soft as in Software and Thindle. Two people that I want to shout out. If you are interested in seeing cool Office add-ins done with Blazor, check out Soft Doesn't Software. Give him a follow. You'll be notified when he goes live. See ya again, Napalm. And we're back. I mean, see ya. And Thindle. Thindle is an amazing application streamer. Also does modernization, migration type projects, going from .NET Web Apps, ASP Web Forms to .NET Framework to .NET Core and beyond. So check him out for really, really good content. Zelda will make appearances on his stream. You can see his Zelda emote there with the heart. Really, really lovely cat. Lovely, lovely cat. You saw Dukasoft use one of the emotes earlier. Zelda wants your hugs and food, especially your food. Judgy. Dukasoft used that one earlier. It's perfect. Okay, but yeah, was that enough time? Can we do a proper shout out for Thindle? Thindle is also the creator of NoDocs, a Visual Studio extension that will hide your values in JSON and XML files. So, you know, you have key value pairs in JSON, and so it'll mask out your values. So if you happen to be streaming or presenting and you open up your secrets or some other JSON or XML file that has stuff that you don't want people to see, it'll just mask them out for you. It's really cool. Give it a check. Was that 30 seconds? Okay, but let me turn Bardaki up. I hope he's not ending. Okay, no, he's just talking about what he's going to do tomorrow. So we are going to do a shout out for Thindle, and we're going to start a raid to Bardaki. So Bardaki, if you don't know who he is a game developer working on a game called the You Wanted War, renamed to Unwanted War for some reason. He's a really cool guy. He'll sing for you when we get in there. It'll be great. And hello, Juan Van. You know, I remembered and I still forgot. But yeah, that's going to be it for me for today. I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to finish, or not finish, I'm going to fix RMA Water, but I'll be lurking. Currently, I am actively, passively lurking on Bardaki, on Clayman, who's been streaming all day, Instafluff, who streams for 1,000,000 hours, and Solo Solipsist, who is working on tech that I absolutely love, which is mixed reality. Yeah, I'd give shout outs to all of them too. But you only get so many shout outs. Okay. That's it for now, though. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. See you whenever you come back. I'll be back on Monday. Same time, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time, UTC -6. Oh. Ciao. I will. I absolutely will. Okay. Tschüss.